Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Basketball Bulletin. I'm Trevor Lane, joined by my guy, Donnie. You may know him as D Free. Donnie, let's talk about some drama here. Kevin
Dra-
Durant, Dennis Schroder going back and forth.
Drama in the NBA? What?
Never.
Kevin Durant drama? What? Never. No.
Kevin Durant is never one to be prone to drama. But check this out. So this is after the Olympics. Now we've got drama between Kevin Durant and Dennis Schroder. Now, a few weeks back, Dennis Schroder made this comment. European basketball is no entertainment. It's straight IQ basketball, straight coaching. A lot of people took that as a shot at American basketball, that the implication here is that US-based basketball, the NBA, is not IQ basketball, is not coaching, that it's entertainment, right? That's the message that many people took Dennis Schroder as saying here. But Kevin Durant, after the U.S. won the gold medal, fired back entertainment and IQ. Again, Kevin Durant, he's known for throwing some stuff out there on X.
Oh, is he?
Every once in a while, the burner accounts and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if he still has those, but he threw this out there. It says entertainment and IQ. Dennis Schroder has now responded to that. And oh boy, Dennis Schroder says they won. And Kevin Durant tweets, high IQ and entertainment. For me, that's just being weak. You're that type of star, and you have to say something to a person like me who not even meant it to be negative. It was just what I see from both sides. You know what I'm saying? I didn't appreciate it. I don't care. But at the end of the day, the tweet or whatever he posted was because of me. For me, it was never no negative stuff. I respect all of those guys, all goats. But to say that tells me how weak he is as a person. It is what it is. Not everybody is strong. Not everybody is in a good place. Dennis Schroder, I mean, he just turned the volume up to 11 on this, calling Kevin Durant weak. Donnie, where do you even want to start? There's a number of different ways that we can go here.
Has Kevin responded to this?
I don't think so. I don't think Kevin Durant has responded. I would have to imagine he's going to, though. He's not one to stay quiet.
That's why I asked, because he's going to respond to this. It's not the reason he doesn't have burners anymore is because after that whole fiasco, he just was like, all right, screw it. I'll put it out there on my main and I'll just talk trash to everybody. I don't care. So assuming allegedly he doesn't anymore. This is pretty interesting because, where do you feel about the first statement from Schroder in terms of like entertainment? Because I mean, the NBA is entertainment. I think that's pretty fair. I think that the implication on it is that maybe he's implying that players don't play with IQ. I'm not sure about that part of it, but the entertainment part, sure. That I think that is made perfectly clear by a lot of the business decisions that they've made, especially recently with inclusions to the product to try to make it more enticing.
Yeah, I mean, look, the NBA is an entertainment business. I don't think there's any question about that. But trying to say that there's no, the implication is that there's no IQ in the game, that it's all just about entertainment and all of that. And the problem is when you start going down that path, it's just about entertainment. Well, you start throwing around the word entertainment, and then you start to lose the word sport in it, right? And then you start getting into WWE territory and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Say, oh no, it's just entertainment. It's just entertainment. There's no IQ behind this. There's no real coaching or anything like that. And so if you're an NBA player, if you're one of the best in the world, I can see why you would look at this statement and you would feel offended. You'd feel some kind of a way. Now, is there a difference between European basketball and the NBA? Absolutely. We've seen it. We saw it in the Olympics. We've seen how the different playing styles kind of collide. And I think there's a difference between the two. I think Schroder did a poor job of comparing the two without insulting one by saying that, oh, no, it's all about IQ, especially because American players have heard for so long, oh, FIBA is physical. The NBA is not. These guys are soft. FIBA is the physical play where we don't call fouls like that. So now you're saying not only is FIBA the more physical league, but it's also their style of play, but it also contains the high IQ basketball as well. Like, it gets to be a bit much.
Yeah, I think that perspective on it is fair. You had a good point when you said that Schroeder probably just didn't articulate it right, where he may have an idea, but probably insulted other people. I will play devil's advocate though and say that I think Durant is one to take a slight from anything at this
Mhm.
point online, to where like if he sees anything, he is going to take it as a slight. And I think that, like I said in the beginning, Schroeder is not technically wrong. He probably could have delivered that message a different way. But I want to ask the people watching the video, what style of play do you enjoy more? The NBA style of play, whether that's, regular season, in season tournament, play in, doesn't matter, pick your poison, NBA finals or a FIBA game. One thing I'll tell you coming off the Olympics was the product is very different.
Mhm.
I was not just in terms of like the actual gameplay, for the game, but the packaging. There was no commercials there. It was just straight basketball. I really enjoyed it. The refs were a little bit better, but they were still pretty bad. A little bit better.
Yeah.
But just the overall aesthetic of it, everything, I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed watching these guys going out there. And I do think that if you wanted to compare products, maybe you could say that that was I think that, like, who was it? Peacock? Whoever
Mhm.
streamed most of
Yeah.
that
Just
did an
Peacock.
amazing job handling the
Absolutely.
entire Olympics. It was pretty insane what they did. And the NBA coverage was amazing. I sometimes don't feel that way about our actual NBA product. I think that we're getting better about, the commentary associated with these games, whether it's like sometimes not having the best color commentators. I don't love some of them sometimes, things like that. But I think the NBA game is so like commercialized in terms of the way that they've made it, not just literally having commercials, but the way they've made it. And I think that the FIBA game may be a little bit more interesting. So that's why I wanted to ask that. But otherwise, in terms of this, I don't think either player really is in the wrong here in particular. I think the wrong here is that, KD again has to make drama out of every situation.
Well, as Stu the Studio Cat is here for the drama. Kevin Durant saying entertainment and IQ, throwing that out there. Yeah, he took it personally, right? The Michael Jordan thing. I took that personally, and he should. I think he should. What if you want to use something as motivation? That's what a lot of these guys do. Somebody saying that their league is all about, or the FIBA league. I shouldn't say their league because Dennis Schroeder is an NBA player, but
Mhm.
the FIBA style of play is one based around IQ, and therefore implying that the NBA is not. You should absolutely take that uh, personally and use that as motivation to go out there and get the job done and win the gold medal. And they did. So him saying entertainment and IQ, saying we were entertaining and we were showing smart basketball. We were playing the game the
Mhm.
right way.
Some of
I
them
don't think
anyway.
there's some of them. There's some who was not.
Nah, oh, see, you're gonna put me on the spot here. In that last game, there was one player in particular that I was like super frustrated with, and he was a young guy, so I'm not really mad at it.
Oh, one of the young guys out there. Oh, I mean, okay. All right. All right. I think I know where you're going there.
I thought he was like a deer in headlights out there, so but maybe that's just experience, really, more so than IQ. So
That could be. That
yeah,
could potentially be. But I did think that overall the US team
yeah, definitely.
are there
When you have
moments.
LeBron and Steph up there, I mean, sure.
Yeah, I mean, those are two of the smartest basketball players on the planet, right? So here's the other thing is when we look at the Olympics and we say, oh, it's all IQ on the side of the European clubs and on the American team, it's not.
Mhm.
Part of the problem too is this team was formed a couple of months ago, right?
Yeah.
Like these guys don't play together all the time. Some of these other clubs or other teams they've got continuity. And I think that shows as well. What if Steve Kerr was coaching this team, this same group for 4 years? Are the sets they're going to run and everything look much more advanced? Absolutely. Are the mistakes that they would make are those going to be diminished? Absolutely. They're not going to have the same communication errors. They're not going to have the same situations where we saw them maybe not running stuff quite as advanced as what the other teams were, but they
Mhm.
haven't had as much time together. It's hard to install a whole offense and defensive scheme
In just a
that can
couple
adjust to
months.
everything. Yeah, in just a couple months. But here's the thing. Kevin Durant says his thing, and that's it. That was the end of it. right? That should have been
for a
done,
week. Yeah.
right? And then Dennis Schroder has to jump back on and write a paragraph and take it to the next level by calling Kevin Durant weak. I don't think that Kevin Durant's comment necessarily showed weakness. And I think, if anything, Schroeder just escalated this to the next level. Like, you could insult his IQ as a basketball player, but to come out and now say Kevin Durant is weak, I mean, can we just fire up the Suns versus Nets game already? Because I can't wait to see that now.
Yeah, I think the weak thing is more so a commentary on just the way he handles all of this.
Okay.
Because some people may not like that. Like, some you've got very different extremes where some people are like, "Oh, this is really cool," or they enjoy it, but a lot of people don't like it. The way he's got to always fire back at everything, and he's got to, he's got to just constantly inject in his 2 cents into a whole bunch of stuff. And it's not just like NBA stuff. He's going at it with fans all the time. He was going at it with fans during the Olympics, telling people their opinion doesn't matter about the Jokic MVP stuff. And like, it was just, he was going at people. So like, Durant doesn't have any fans in terms of like this stuff, right? At least not too many, in my opinion. But I think that may have been a commentary on that in particular. But to say that he's weak, I don't think you just say that about anybody, period. I don't think you really should say that about anybody, especially coming from Schroeder, who's an active NBA player. He's not like Charles Barkley or something, talking trash from the side. He's an active NBA player. He's got to see this guy. He's got to play against this guy a few times a year. I don't really think that was the smartest decision. I don't think it's the smartest decision to say that about anybody in particular. So I'm sure that Durant has, because we've talked about him being petty, already got this game or these games scheduled on his calendar now. I'm waiting for the response. I'm surprised there is no response.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be coming. But if just that comment, that implied commentary on the level of IQ in NBA basketball was enough for Kevin Durant to be bothered by it and take that personally, I can only imagine what being called weak and being called not strong and saying he's not in a good place. I don't know how he's going to respond to that. I can't wait for it, but I have to imagine a serious response is coming. I also want to say this. I think it's really ironic that in the middle of a paragraph about this whole thing, Dennis Schroeder says, "I don't care." Clearly you do care. You wrote a paragraph about this, man. Come on.
Yeah. Do you think the IQ thing is more about how in the NBA, a lot of it's kind of like pickup? Like, they're not, some teams, they've got just like a general baseline, but they don't run a ton of stuff out there.
It depends on the team, but there is a lot of freelancing out there where you're kind of adapting on the fly and everything like that. But
not a lot of read react. That was another topic with Durant, like in general, where he was, this was a talking point in the Olympics again, where he was going at it with fans, talking about how the way that the team should play is just a lot of just read and react. We don't need sets. We don't need all this stuff. We just need high IQ guys out. Like, he was talking about this stuff during the Olympics, where he wants to just play. He said that's the beauty of basketball, when you have 5 guys out there that are just reading and reacting constantly. And so I think in the NBA, when you get a lot of these guys out there that are high IQ, that's what it looks like a lot of the time. They're not calling a bunch of sets, but like you said, it does vary from team to team how much structure there is in their offense. But maybe for Schroeder, maybe he feels like that may not be the case, like in the whole like grand scheme of things. So maybe that's where that is, because obviously you've got smart players. It doesn't matter what league you're in. Obviously, you've got some smart players, and in FIBA, you also probably got some guys that aren't the best IQ players, right? They need more structure stuff. So I'm sure it goes both ways. So maybe I'm just trying to think about why he would think that way or say that.
I think that in the NBA, the athleticism, the creativity of the players is to such a degree that they can get away with more freelancing than maybe some lower teams can. And you look at college teams, you look at how often they're running actual sets and things like that, because can you give that guy the ball at the top of the key and say, here's a screen, and now go create something out of it and make the right read? They're probably not going to more often than not. At the NBA, they can. And I do think that it's actually the melding of the two things that it's what makes basketball so beautiful, because you can see a play that is perfectly designed, see it come together exactly as it's supposed to, and you can appreciate that. But you can also see the creativity in the moment as guys improvise something on the fly. You think about how many of the greatest passes we've seen in all time. You think about some of the Steve Nash passes where he gets into the air in the paint, hurls it behind his head out to the 3-point line to a shooter, buckets. It's stuff like that that also shows the beauty of the game, maybe just as much as an intricately designed play that's drawn up perfectly and executed to perfection. Both of those things, I think it's the combination of the two, the solid foundation, the solid structure of sets with the improvisation that comes with these top tier players being able to do what they do best and just kind of make it up on the fly. It's the melding of those two things that I think really sets the NBA apart. So I think there's beauty to both styles of play. To me, the NBA is where those two things really come together. I kind of disagree with Kevin Durant in that sense that I don't think it should just be roll the ball out there and just play all the time. I do think you need that foundation with that creativity to go ahead and make up things on the fly. It's like a really good actor, right? Where you know ultimately where the script is going to go, but you're going to give them that leeway to throw in the improv moments as they see fit.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. I just was wondering like where the thought process was, and I agree with you 100%.
So we'll see if Kevin Durant fires back here, and can we get the Dennis Schroder? I don't even know if Dennis Schroder is going to stay on the Nets all season or if he'll get traded.
He's going to Phoenix, baby.
The Suns are going to trade for Dennis Schroder now, just to put him in the same locker room. Now that would be peak drama. That would be a lot of fun. I like that idea.
I need it.
We're going to have to fire up the trade machine and figure out some way. The Suns don't have.
Hey, the Suns could use them. Yeah, he'd be one of their best like 5 players probably. So I mean that's not a bad thing.
Tyus Jones might be a little bit annoyed if suddenly another point guard comes into town after he took less to go be the Suns starter. But absolutely, I think that would be a lot of fun. That would be hilarious. Stu says that's it. Wrap it up, guys. Studio Stu. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Let us know, who do you think is right? Kevin Durant or Dennis Schroder? Fire it off in the comment section. Make sure you check out our latest video. We broke down the top point guards in the NBA. We ranked them in tiers, so make sure you go check that out as well. Till next time, everybody. See ya, and stay safe.